Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles as they square off against second-year man Sam Darnold and the new-look New York Jets. With that, we head up to MetLife Stadium as we'll hand it over to the two men that'll call the action, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach. Well, we are about a $50 cab ride away from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. A few minutes ago, the hometown Jets were introduced to this sellout crowd, and it's a roar that could be heard across the river in Manhattan. They're set to go as their Jets will match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Godden with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
To get the party started, the Jets' new kicker for 2019, Chandler Catanzaro. And in front of a raucous crowd, this one is underway. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Carson Wentz getting ready to roll here. His fourth year now in the NFL. Got that nice four-year, $128 million extension back in June and seems to be over the back and knee problems that have plagued him, knock on wood. And he plans, Charles, to ditch the knee brace this year. He could be primed for a big season.
And I think that head coach Doug Peterson and staff will continue to work with him on how he runs the football, taking less chances because a lot of the times, and Carson told me this a couple years ago, I sometimes forget and try and do it like a running back. Not a good idea for your franchise quarterback. Get down and stay healthy. But the big thing I've seen in camp and keep hearing about, the rapport he's developing with Deshawn Jackson. Because he's back in Philadelphia, a home run hit threat at wide receiver. Never established that rapport with Jameis Winston in Tampa. If he does it with Carson Wentz in Philadelphia, look out.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Wentz. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, there in coverage. Here's the offense, and sometimes you got to show love to the big guys.
That you do. We're talking about Jason Kelce now, not Travis, his brother who plays tight end. Jason lines up at center, a threat to go to the Pro Bowl each and every year.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Shotgun now for Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. They got his man complete. And all the way down to the 35. A big play there for Philly. 41 yards.
Well, things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone. This time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
They go play action here on 1st down. Gets this to his running back, Jordan Howard. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wentz. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Outside. Boy, 51. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And here we go again. Here we go again.
They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. It's a pickup of 3, and we have now arrived at the 2-minute warning. No score after 1 on EA Sports. On second down, it's Bell. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on third down. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On fourth down, here's Lachlan Edwards to punt it. Taken from just outside the 30. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The Eagles heading back out, and you think about their backfield, Charles, it's going to be interesting to see how things go here in the rest of preseason and into the regular season. You got Jordan Howard, who you picked up from Chicago, still just 24, twice a 1,000-yard rusher, but there's a litany of other options, are there not?
They are absolutely loaded at the running back position because you already mentioned Jordan Howard. He's supposed to be the guy that carries it the most for them. But still on the roster, Josh Adams, undrafted out of Notre Dame. He helped save their season last year. Corey Clement, remember he was undrafted out of Wisconsin, caught a big touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. Wendell Smallwood out of West Virginia gives him kick return ability. Darren Sproles is back. He's a do-it-all guy. Donnell Pumphrey they drafted 2 years ago. And then they drafted this year Miles Sanders out of Penn State, who might be the best out of that whole group. Whoever is looking at this team is thinking to themselves, on cut-down day, there are going to be some quality running backs that will be available for the rest of the league.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now Wentz. This will be caught inside the 10. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Great gains back-to-back. Last time over 30 yards, better than 20 here.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Punching it in from a yard away as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it was Miles Sanders who finished it off with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Jets coming on the field here. You think about the running game. Of course, Le'Veon Bell going to be such a big part of what the Jets hope is a turnaround season. Bell, of course, didn't play last year. Caused a lot of fantasy players to get nothing out of their first-round pick. And he acknowledged as such on social media a few weeks back. Here's what he said, Charles. Quote, "This is long overdue, but I want to take a moment to apologize to all the fantasy owners who picked me last year. I'm sorry I couldn't pull through for y'all, but trust me, this year's about to be way different. I'm bringing home the trophies this year." Your thoughts?
Well, the quote, when you actually read it, he really put some emphasis in there. How many O's were in long, in terms of long overdue, right? He had the italics and apologize. Way, a second Y in there. So he was feeling it. That was from the heart. And when he says, "I'm bringing home the trophies this year," I think he means to all the fantasy owners that you'll win your leagues. But I think the Jets are saying, can we bring home an AFC East trophy or at least get to the playoffs? That's what we've got you here for.
Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Right there.
Now Darnold. It's caught by Quincy Enunwa. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 37.
That's another Jets. First down. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. That's a 12-yard gain now on back-to-back plays. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. We have hit halftime. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And New York set to take the field. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Now it's Darnold rolling to his right. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
Back to throw, Darnold. Rolling to his left. He finds an opening past the 40, and he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Bell. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. And credit the tackle to Derek Barnett. Bell, of course, 3-time 1,000-yard rusher. Sat out 2018, but you look back to 2017, a tick under 1,300 yards and almost 700 more receiving.
Check, check. Walk 54. Walk 54. Come on, dude. He's checking.
Again, it's Bell. And an alley to run. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 11 yards there. First down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Switch up.
And they'll try the air now with Darnold. And an alley to run. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
And it's a rush to the line right now for the Jets.
53 is the mark.
Darnold off the play fake to Bell. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
This defense needs a big play in the worst way because so far, they're not putting up much of a fight. If they don't get a stop here soon, this game could be over for them.
First down now, but that clock rolling. Now it's Darnold. His pass caught at the 4. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. From 8 yards out. And the Jets have taken the lead.
And touchdown and congratulations and zero relaxation ahead of them, right? Way too much time on the clock for them to start celebrating.
Yeah, part one is done, but now on the sideline, you can already see them scrambling down there. They're getting those defensive guys ready.
Yes, you have to get those guys ready, and you also have to talk to your special teams guys. Make sure the kickoff is exactly what you want and cover it well.
Extra point good by Catanzaro. So it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages as a field goal now can only tie it. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it ends with a Jet touchdown. Now Catanzaro after the touchdown to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. So now Wentz and the Eagles down 10-7, exactly 1 minute remaining. They need at minimum 3 points out of this as they come up 1st and 10. Wentz off the fake handoff to Howard. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Wentz. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. The big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
I'm a little surprised right here. They've got 3 timeouts left. The clock's running down, and they aren't using them. Those timeouts do you no good at home. Use them now.
Trying to hurry to the line on the very outskirts of field goal range. He'll look to throw. Jackson's got it over the middle. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They go counter with Howard. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. Now to try the Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. This to potentially send us to overtime. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Now to try the Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. So a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. They go with Howard to begin the drive. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Wentz going to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jackson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards there and a 1st down. So he hooked up with a veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. On 1st down, they run with Howard. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. On 2nd and 12, Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Hoping to keep this OT drive alive. Now they face a 3rd and 2. Working from the gun, Wentz. And this is caught by Jackson. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that